Boom shakalaka, bad news. Bitcoin has just broken support down to previous all-time high resistance of $20,000. Today's video, we're going to take a look at what this means for Bitcoin and altcoins and what this could possibly mean for you. Stay tuned. What's up everyone, Randall here from Crypto Lab. Today's video, we're taking a look at Bitcoin breaking below support that we have found previously, what this means for you, particularly when zooming out and taking a long-term perspective on this. Is this good or bad? Before we get into it, guys, make sure to like, subscribe, click the notification bell. Come join us over on Twitter at @TheCryptoLove. Push the like button. Let's get into it. Today, back into fear. However, I feel that tomorrow will be back to extreme fear, especially after the entire market crashed over 5% today. Bitcoin at 20,212, Ethereum at 1497, BNB at 280, XRP 33 cents, Cardano 43 cents, Solana $31, and Dogecoin 6 cents. And if you wanted the top coins based on artificial intelligence and machine learning, they would be Stargate Finance, Voyager VGX, BNB, Cosmos Hub, and Chiliz. However, if you'll notice here, the large allocation to stablecoins, which had you have been heeding token metrics for the past week, you would not have been affected by this downturn. As a matter of fact, you would have had more stablecoins to deploy into crypto. Now, if we take a look at Bitcoin, it has broken down below this support trend that we found at the June 18th bottom, also the Pi cycle bottom on July 13th. We've broken below there, found support temporarily at least at the $20,000 previous all-time high from 2017-2018. Now below that, the next level we have to take a look at would be the 280 weekly moving averages green line here, right around $18,500 if we were to break below there. Let's hope not, but let's take a look at the charts, see exactly what's going on. Because we have to be concerned about some scenario like this pointed out by On-Chain College. Something I've been thinking about for a long time. Will Bitcoin come close to the delta price this bear market? It came close to the delta price in each of the prior three bear markets. Right now, the delta price is currently at $13,718. Only time will tell. As we can see here, touch the delta price in 2011, touch the delta price in 2015, touch the delta price again in 2019, has not yet touched the delta price. Does that mean we are bound to go lower to roughly $13,000, $14,000? Well, there's a bear market pattern playing out right now that appears like it has been completely fulfilled. If we take a look at the 2014 bear market, we had this 0 to 1 fib right here, and the negative 0.618 was where we found the bottom. Happened again in 2018-2019, the 0 to 1 fib, the negative 0.618 was where we found the bottom. Well, if we take the 0 to 1 fib from the support here to the top, well, negative 0.618, we have already found that bottom so far, suggesting that the price could go up from here. The only one hesitation I have from this is this does not consider the wick-off top price, because we got wicked off very clearly right here. If we were to use the wick-off top price, this 0.618 bottom would be a little bit lower. Now, the good news is we are still in the combo channel. Bitcoin's still in play with the 200 moving average combo channel composed of the 200 EMA and the 200 RMA. Now, the RMA is the rolling moving average, which basically just more heavily weights the more near dates than the further away ones. Now, historically, when Bitcoin has been between these two channels, the EMA and the RMA, it has been accumulation territory for Bitcoin. Buying in these levels, you would have gotten extremely amazing deals for Bitcoin. So Bitcoin still hovers in insane accumulation territory. But right now, Bitcoin, every time the super guppy has turned red, which is this bunch of lines that we see right here, every time it's turned red, the bottom was already in for Bitcoin. We can see this happen back here in 2015. When the super guppy turned red, the bottom was already in months before there. We can see this happen in 2019. When the super guppy turned red, the bottom was already in months before there. Well, right now we have the super guppy just turning red, the bottom already in months before. Is this going to hold true where the bottom is already in? Not only that, but every time that the super guppy turned red, Bitcoin experienced a relief rally at least to the upper red super guppy bands, currently at $34,000. So will we still see a Bitcoin relief rally to these levels? Right now for altcoins as well, altcoin bear phases follow this descending broadening wedge dropping below EMA trend bars. Altcoins have been retesting this EMA trend line. A breakout is near, like in 2019. We can see that as altcoins fell below this EMA, well, once it broke above there, this is the 100 CM EMA trend bars. once it broke above there, we had a nice breakout for altcoins. While we're testing it once again, got rejected recently, but if we can break above there, we could see an alt season incoming. Now, a lot of people, like I mentioned initially, a lot of people are scared. Could Bitcoin price go lower? And there's a lot of speculation that Bitcoin price could go to 17,000 or 14,000 or 10,000 or 3,000 or who knows how low it could go. But a lot of people are expecting that the worst is still yet to come for Bitcoin. Not ruling it out, however, not so convinced either. If we take a look at the network cost basis on the 90-day positive change Z-score, we've already seen arguably the most extreme capitulation in Bitcoin's history. You can see this down here. The most extreme capitulation, the lowest levels we have ever seen for Bitcoin ever in history. Now, this comes along at the same time that the most people know about Bitcoin and the most people believe in Bitcoin for the long term, and yet we're seeing the most massive capitulation. As a matter of fact, if we take a look at a different chart, this is the Bitcoin denominated realized losses over a 90-day period, we just had the third highest capitulation event in history. This is very noteworthy. It's resulted in a significant amount of market participants being shaken out. Now, that means that there's probably not that many people who are going to be leaving the market in the future. So if we have these shakeouts, how many more people are still haven't sold yet? I don't think that there's that many, but who knows? The market could always surprise me. Now, this being said right here, we're like, well, it's not the highest. This one was the highest back in 2012. But if we take a look at this chart, the cbbi.info historical chart, we can see that right now we're at 9, which is pretty low. Actually, right now we're at 8 on the cbbi.info confidence level. Well, if we take a look at that 2011-2012 one, that only got down to 9 at the absolute lowest. So we're already lower than the absolute lowest we were in CBBI.index back then. Now, in 2015 and also 2019, we did go much lower to 2 and 3. But this takes a look at a bunch of different indices, the Pi Cycle Top Indicator, the Ruppel-Nuppel chart, Rodel Ratio, Puell Multiple, 2-year moving average, Bitcoin, Trollo Trendline, MVRV Z-score, reserve risk, top cap versus CDDD, and Bitcoin Google search terms to determine when the top is. And it has been pretty accurate. Now, we are in territory that signals a bottom, but we don't actually know when the exact bottom is. It just seems likely with these events that we have experienced extreme capitulation, and capitulation and bottom go hand in hand. They are bosom buddies, which leads us to where we could potentially go in the future. This is a very interesting chart from TA Analyst, who takes a look at the EMA. Now up here it says 50 EMA, right down here it says weekly EMA 100, so I'm not sure which one is true. But after 245 days below its weekly EMA 100, Bitcoin is entering a systematic uptrend. Now, as we can see, as Bitcoin price breaks below this EMA trend line, 245 days later, guess what? Bull run starts. Same thing happened here. After it broke below this trend line, 245 days later, bull run starts. Well, we broke through that trend line 245 days later. We are there right now. Does this mean the start of the bull run? Could that $20,000 level be the start of the bull run? Very well could, and it also very well might not. And here's why. If we take a look at Bitcoin price from the halvings, which is this blue solid line, back to the absolute bottom, the Pi Cycle bottom indicator, which is this green dashed line. If we take a look at the bar patterns for the 2015 to 2016 run and also 2018 to 2020 run. Now, this wasn't the parabolic part. This was the pre-halving run. And if we take a look at them compared with where we are, the red one is 2015 to 2016. The orange one is 2018 to 2019. Now, as you can see, in both cases, we are not actually at the levels where we saw bottoms previously. So we are before temporally about 1-2 months before we see that bottom, or excuse me, 1-2 weeks before we see that bottom. Historically, it would have been around September when we see that bottom mark if Bitcoin was to repeat its history. Now, the other thing to take note of is this one was on average, this one to the bottom and this one to the bottom were roughly 69% drops from the bottom, which would put the Bitcoin price at the halving roughly at $50,000 and could, if we see the same thing we saw in 2015, 2016, put Bitcoin price all the way down to $12,000, maybe even $15,000 before we see a little bit of an uptrend coming. So, while things are looking good and while there is a lot of evidence suggesting that the bottom is already in, well, it may be worth being a little bit hesitant because buying the bottom, you really only ever know after the bottom is over. And at this point, we don't know if the bottom is in. There's a lot of evidence that suggests, yes, I think the bottom is in, but I could be very, very wrong on that. So anyways, that's all for today's episode. If you did enjoy it, push the like button. It helps out so much. I will catch you guys later. Have a good one. Love you. Peace.
If you don't think Bitcoin's going to $1 million a coin and then $10 million a coin, you're already a loser.